At last I've got myself a drive in the British Touring Car Championship. It's by far the most exciting racing there is, with 25 races all over Britain and 9 manufacturers taking part. But before I start, Auto Trader British Touring Car Championship 1/32 scale. This championship runs in parallel with the full-size series throughout the season.
We're actually taking the final to Silverstone on the 24th of September, the same day as the full-size touring car final. And it's something that everyone taking part in our series is aiming to get to.
The cars look in every detail just like the real thing. Among the competitors, you'll find Simone's Alfa Romeo and the Ford Mondeo driven by Paul Radisic. BMW are represented by a 3-car team, and in their case, even the sponsorship is real.
Our colleague Alan Slade put a business plan together to BMW GB Limited, and they said yes, and they trumped up the cheque a few weeks later.
More in keeping with the scale of the cars, perhaps, is the deal secured by 14-year-old Scott Lizell.
Yeah, I was sponsored by the person I'm doing my paper around for, Richard Pygo of Eveleys.
And do you think he gets good value from his sponsorship?
Yeah, I think so. I give him a bit of publicity in the local paper, so he doesn't do too bad.
So, this is my car, an Alfa 155. Well, look, I've got my name on it as well. So, tell me about this car then, Duncan.
Right, well, you've got quite a good car there. Last weekend it was the Class A winning car at Southwick. 4 clear laps over everybody else. It's basically Alfa Romeo 155. We've lowered it a bit, widened the rear axles, to give you a chance of keeping it on, we've detuned the motor.
Have you really? Oh, I see. As the preliminary heats of today's meeting get underway, the competition is intense. But the preparation begins long before the cars get to the track. What can you do to improve performance?
Well, what you basically would do is perhaps change the wheels that the car comes with as standard, change the tyre compound, the tyre sizes, modify the guide slots so that you can actually get it to run a lot better in the track, and of course oil the motor from the inside.
The development is in the chassis, but we're not allowed to tune the engine at all. They've got to remain as bought. So all the development work comes in actually choosing the right gear ratio, the right tyre compound, the right wheels. As I said, next year I'm developing a car that's got fully adjustable splitters, wings. The whole front end is completely adjustable. So we have a chassis we can set up for every track, literally. You can adjust as on a real car.
As in all motorsport, you need a good mechanic's toolkit, but it's not every day you see the cars in the bottom drawer. Nigel, talk me through all this here.
Well, in the top we've got the controllers, the tyre cleaning kit, motors in the second shelf with guides, and then tyres and all of the spares in the bottom.
Now it's time for my qualifying heat, and the opposition looks pretty impressive. I've got to ease back on the throttle at this jump. Oh, no, I've done well there, look at it. Straight at the straight, flat out. Oh, I've rolled it, look at that. Oh, lads. Oh, dear. I'm actually the last, aren't I? Well, it won't surprise you to know that I didn't make the final, but my Top Gear stablemate Duncan did, as did one of the works BMWs. So, the end of a great day's racing, and the winner, 14-year-old Edward Clayton from Melton Mowbray. Well done, Edward.
Thanks very much.
Driving the Alfa Romeo. Have you had any hard moments today at all?
It was hard when I was chasing up for second, and then my arch rival was taken out.
By you?
By me.
All part of the game, I guess. But why do people travel the length of the country to race slot cars?
The adrenaline flow, it's as near as they're going to get to the real thing. It's your reflexes. It's the adrenaline keeping you going, making you respond.
It is a hobby, but you don't like losing.
Well, if you want to compete in the real British Touring Car Championship, it'll probably cost you about £250,000. But if you want to compete in this one, you can do it for less than 100.
That's not including the beer, of course.
When the stars make you drool.
Thames Valley Police chasing a Rover 827 in a Vauxhall Senator 24 valve. Today we're trying to find out how the police choose their police cars.
Thames Valley penned a 30-page report on the Rover 827, concluding publicly that it wasn't bad, but privately they nicknamed it the General Belgrano because it rolled a lot.
Police cars aren't chosen arbitrarily. We have certain criteria we have to meet. Certainly performance, reliability, comfort are the main criteria, and as well costs. The Rover 827 has proved to be a good car. We've had this one on test now for a year. That's how long we will evaluate these cars. It's been a very good, very reliable car. The only problem we've had with this particular model is that the gearing is not quite correct as far as the police are concerned, and the fifth gear is rather an overdrive gear and doesn't quite give us the top end speed that we would like.
People think that police cars are tuned. Is that the case?
No, certainly not. We buy standard cars. The only thing we require is that the alternator is operated to accommodate our electrics and the suspension as well. We do need a stiffer suspension than is normally required by the ordinary motoring public.
This unmarked SRI Cavalier spends its entire life going sideways. Rough treatment indeed, but one of the reasons why the old bills seem to like their Vauxhalls. If they can put up with this sort of punishment without braking, they get Plod's vote. The Cavalier's bigger brother, the Senator, may not look so nimble, but it's actually a very well-balanced machine, even with a boot full of motorway cones and handcuffs.
Now, you're a Category 1 police driving instructor. What is it that makes a good handling police car? What do you look for?
A car that's got fairly neutral handling characteristics, that will turn in and responsive to the steering, but at the same time the ability to have power to be able to adjust the position of the vehicle on the road so that we can modify that position when we need to using the power of the engine or deceleration as the case may be. But important that they've got fairly neutral handling so that it's got no particular vices. The visual impact of a police vehicle on the road is also quite important. So if we look at the larger range of vehicles, the Vauxhall Senator, the Ford Granada, we found that the Vauxhall Senator has given us all the roles that we need in the one vehicle and has provided reliable service.
In the past, jam sandwiches weren't always chosen with such caution. Hard-nosed blaggers weren't exactly frightened by Minis and Mini Coopers. Triumph 2500s kept breaking down and their wheel trims fell off. And the lugubrious Mark IV Zephyr was easy meat for a wheelman in a well-driven Jag.
The average Bedfordshire police car covers 150,000 miles in its lifetime, and inevitably, some of that time is spent with its wheels in the air. They get serviced every 5 weeks, and some of the high-performance pursuit cars need a set of brake pads every fortnight and a set of tyres every month. Few cars get such unstinting maintenance.
We usually work to the manufacturer's recommended maintenance schedules. The only alteration to that really is we pay a little bit more attention